It's Taylor Bridges here again with another video. Hey, I don't even have like an intro or anything, so y'all just gonna get my energy, whatever is given every time. It is what it is until I kind of get that figured out. Obviously, my YouTube is a little new here, so we're just going with the flow. All I know is I enjoy reviewing the show, so that's really what I'm here about. All the other stuff will come with time. Right now, it's just about getting my thoughts and opinions out there on the foolishness we see on TV, okay? While you're here, please, please, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. I got like 19 views on my last video, okay? I was excited about that. I don't know. Like, that's exciting to me. Like, cool. Come rock with me, okay? Because I'm gonna give my opinion. And y'all get to know me. I'm extremely opinionated, so I wonder if I'm like offending people. I wonder if I've said something offensive thus far. This is the fourth video on that'll be uploaded on my YouTube. So curious. I'm just curious, you know. But I swear I'm really nice and all. I'm just like extremely opinionated. And that's just that. Okay, I'm looking to the side because my monitor's there, the camera's here. It's hard for me to like look straight at something. Like I have to look at myself. Anyways, let's get to the review. Here we are, Ready Love Season 7, Episode 2. Okay. All the singles are brought together at a mixer. I love it. I love when the singles are just all together in one room. The earlier seasons, they used to have mixers often, where all of them are there. I love to see everyone feed off the energy. Connections get to see their connections with their other connections, and then I just like seeing the energy with everybody together. This is a love journey, but it's also in a way like people are building friendships. So I love seeing, everybody together because once we get to the reunion, by the time we get to the reunion, you see the chemistry of the cast. You start seeing, like, you're like, oh, y'all are, like, you start seeing who's like really friends, like, oh, y'all have created like a little family amongst y'all, through this journey, and then they end up staying friends and going to events together and yada yada. So, it's something about the energy of the group when they're all brought together in one setting that I love. I love the energy. Starting off, Corvea is complimenting Demario. He vibes with her back. Like, I love them together. I think their personalities mesh really well because I know Corvea can come off very like, to the point, y'all know what her personality is given. But she seems like when she's into a dude, baby, you see the back of her teeth. Like, she shows all the whites. She got it out. Pardon me, just burped. She got it all out there. Smiling, cheesing, complimenting. She's a lady naturally, but it seems like when she likes a guy, like she has no qualms about being feminine and flirty and whatnot. So I really like seeing her have that vibe with Demario. In Natasha's defense, the attorney who got eliminated last episode, Blake does not smile much, okay? But we're not knocking him for it. I don't think it's something for you to chastise somebody about, their smiling frequency, especially if you don't know them. But it's just an observation. He does, like, on his dates and interacting, like, he doesn't smile much, but he does smile. Like, he smiles with Morgan. He likes her. So he cheesing and all that, but that's the thing. Like, why it doesn't have to be just, oh, you don't smile, like, why you not smiling? Because in fact, Blake in this episode specifically, he seemed very gentlemanlike. He came off so, I saw him differently a little this episode. He seemed like such a gentleman. He seemed so, attentive and intentional and conversational. So he might not smile much, but he gives a little, like, he's here seriously, for a serious outcome. So we'll see. I hate his haircut. He is 44 with a flat hawk. It's like a flat top mohawk thing got going on. I don't know. Like, to each their own with their hair, because women, we don't like when men tell us what to do with our hair. So I get it. I'm just giving my opinion on it. I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't like it though. I don't like when, I think after a certain age, like, men playing with the haircuts is childish to me. Because I'm about to get on Andre in a little bit. Like, it's not cute. Do a fade, go bald, do something simple, but like playing, it's like this whole like mohawk thing, like flat top, like, it looks a mess. He's too handsome for that. He's a handsome dude. So I don't know what he has going on, but I'm not liking it. Jeffrey looks amazing all episode. She looked fly, beautiful, sexy the entire episode. I love her hair down. Her makeup is a little too light. That's all right. It could be the lighting. I don't know, but that's just what it looks like to me. But her hair down, she's just beautiful. You know, her glam and her style is just on point. I love that. She definitely rose to be one of my favorite women on the show this episode, even with her 3 kids. Okay. Because I know I was like, what's that situation about? Because that can be a red flag. Like I mentioned last episode, the multiple kids. Have you gotten married before? If you wanted marriage, why have one kid without marriage, and then another one without marriage, and then another one? Like, if you want marriage, if that's eventually something you want to get to, then why make these poor decisions? Why not get married and then have the kids, if that's a goal that you wanted? That's why I'm just like, what is her decision making? What is her discernment? How is her judgment? You know, that kind of thing. But she has rose to like be my favorite. She's very in tune. She seems very present as well. She seems serious. She's here. I mean, at the end of the episode, Andre said it. She's giving a wife. That's the truth. She's giving like a younger version of like Aisha. Remember Aisha and Dante? Aisha was there. Aisha was open, serious, not playing. Like, that's what Jeffrey gives me, a younger version of that. Like, she's here. And I think she's going to be good with weeding out people that don't suit her. She's very feminine. She's very likable by the men. So she definitely rose to being my favorite, like, so far, because of this episode. I loved her this episode. Marcia looks much better this episode with the smaller hair. Like, it was just too much volume last episode, and it was just not flattering. It looked crazy. So it looks so much better, smaller, but the wigs themselves need resuscitation for sure. But it was a start. It was a start. So, cause I was like, who is that? Oh my gosh, that's Marcia. She's such a cutie. She's so cute. I love her personality. She's beautiful. Like, this hair, and she's too young for that type. Tommy fishes for compliments. It's like every time they see, it's like, open the jacket, turn around. Y'all see this? Get a good look at this. Yeah, look at your boy. Look at your boy. Like, sit down. Like, stop fishing. Like, okay, hey, like, we're here. Come on. Like, too old for that. Anyways, we're going to take a moment of silence for Andre's hair. I know the women find him physically attractive, but I wonder what their opinion is on his hair. That looks a mess. You got the bun, but then you got then you got the curl, the one Jerry curl. It looked a mess. My thing is, yes, okay, he's physically attractive, yes. But, like, you gonna step out with him with that on his head? Like, I'd be like, yeah, you're attractive, but, like, I'm not attracted. Like, I'm not going nowhere with that hair like that. It looks a mess. He has beautiful hair. He's better off rocking, like, it looks like it's like kind of a mohawk almost. You're better off just rocking like a little curly mohawk. To me, that's childish too. But it looks way better than you doing like this with like this. It looks a mess. Like, it looks a mess. And he had it the entire episode. Ooh, pardon me, y'all. I don't know why I keep burping. Oh my gosh. He looked like that the entire episode, and I couldn't. Are they avoiding looking at it? Like, do they just, because like Jeffrey, like, she likes him, all this. I'm like, do you see his hair? Like, or do you think it looks good? Like, I want to know. I want to ask Jeffrey and I want to ask Cynthia, what do you think of Andre's hair? I want to hear what they say about it, because I want to know their opinion on it, because I'm like, you have to see it. Okay. But, you know, he actually seems to be pretty sweet, honestly. He seems like he has a big personality. Clearly, he's pretty funny. He chimes in. He asks questions. He's engaged. He's definitely good for TV. Like, he's definitely participating and in our faces. So, I mean, he seems like a sweet guy. So, technically, the only thing I dislike about him is his hair. So far, it's not. I don't care. I don't like it. Okay. But, you know, liking like things like hair and wigs and stuff. It's like a simple fix if push came to shove, you know? Like, Marcia might have a bad wig. It doesn't stop the fact that that's a beautiful woman. Beautiful body, face, whatever. Andre's an attractive guy, period. So I can see a woman being like, you know what, he fine. We can work with the hair part. I can maybe convince him to cut that off. But he's a handsome guy, period. You know, like it is what it is. So it doesn't, I don't think it takes away from him. I think it's just like super noticeable. But you can't help but notice like a Marcia and like a Andre, like they're attractive. It is what it is. They're handsome, beautiful. They just have like a bad moment going on here. Like something's going on that's bad. Pardon, I'm gonna turn this my portable heater off. The radiator's not going off, so that's good. 4 new singles coming to the group: Cynthia and Jonique, Mark Anthony, and Fabrice. When the women walk in, they are beautiful. I'm not totally feeling either woman's style initially. I think Cynthia's dress flatters her physique really, really well. I think the dress is just ugly. I think it's like awkwardly revealing. Like it's too revealing. And I'm not even that chick. Like I think she looks great in the dress. I think she could look equally as good with a dress without all those random cutouts. It's like attention seeking. Like I like a lady to be sexy and not doing too much. She could have had that dress with no cutouts, just straight green, and still stole the show. The cutouts just was too much. I don't think it was cute. Like I just don't think it was cute. I'm like, it gives like, it was like a little. To me, I feel like it cheapened her. Because then when you get to know her, like she's also, dang, I like a lot of people this season. So like when you meet her and get to know her more, you know, she's poised. She's for real. She's here for real. She's a real grown woman, grown in sexy vibes. I just feel like the dress was just cheapened who we ended up, you know, knowing her to be. Jonique has too much going on with her style. Like the baby hair is about to touch the eyebrows. The wig looks a mess. There's that. And the strappy situation over the breast, to me, it's not flattering. I just don't think it's flattering. But they are very beautiful. Both of them, they're curvy. They have great careers. They have great personalities. They weren't shy about mingling with the men. And at this point in the episode, I am like extremely feeling Jonique. I'm like, Jonique is, I love her. I wasn't feeling like her glam that day, but I like her. I really do. But Jonique does say she's a lot to handle. I think people should stop saying that unless like you're trying to scare the person off. I don't think there's anything cute about being like, yeah, I'm like, if you know you're a lot to handle, like why present that on the list of reasons why somebody should want to be with you? Like why mention that? If you know you're a lot to handle, then do something about that. And then come to somebody when you're not too much to handle, because no grown adult has time to be handling another grown adult. Handle yourself and then come to me handled. Get it handled and then come to me. So I don't know. I just don't think like statements like that are just like mature or responsible. Like it's given that's just how I am vibes, and that doesn't work. At least not with me or at all for any successfully growing person, like adult. Like you want to grow successfully, you're going to have to unlearn some things and switch up some things about yourself. So it was interesting. Fabrice and Mark Anthony come in. I initially like both men right when they come in, but that'll change real quick. Mark does the swan sip with Corvea, and I was like, they look like they like each other's type, just their vibes. Like so I was like, I'll stay tuned. But she asks, so do you think you would spoil a woman in your life? He's like, so here's the thing. So here's the thing with spoiled. So he's like, skirt, bring that back. So here's the thing with that spoiled word. I give you what you earn. They won't be dating each other. And I thought that conversation was so revealing for both of them. I think it's great. I think that's how you should conduct. You meet, clearly the vibe off. First question, the vibe was off. Good time, good sign. As you know, y'all should move on and do y'all own thing. It's not gonna work. Maybe her love language is receiving gifts, and her love language, her way of showing love could be giving gifts. You know, she might be a gifts person, because I know he mentioned like it's giving like gold digger vibes. And I mean, yes, I could see how one could think that, assume that. And also, some people just like gifts. Like some people like getting spoiled with material things. It's a whole love language. It's a valid thing. Is it mine? May it be, could it be yours? Probably not. But it is a language. It is a love language. And I'm thinking that might be hers. She spoke later on at the end of the episode, at the very, very end, she had mentioned, how she likes to live a life a certain way, and she's expecting to date a man that can uphold that. And that's it. That's her standard. That's it. Either it's going to work for her and get her the partner she wants, or it's not. We have yet to see. But clearly Mark Anthony is not that dude, and that's okay. So this is about to end, and that's it. I do think there's a different way to ask it, I do think there's a different way to ask, like, how somebody, like, do you spoil your woman? I don't know. You can say, how do you show affection? What are your love languages? What are your love languages as far as receiving? And what are your love languages as far as giving? What type of love languages are you good at exhibiting to your partner? Like naturally, like what's like your strong suit, and then also, you also have to recognize what you might be good at giving to your partner might not even be the aspects they need. Like you could be great at acts of service and words of affirmation, but you could be dating Corvée, and Corvée is like, I know, I love the letter you wrote with the words of affirmation, but really I could have took a bracelet. Like that would have shown me, or some flowers, or a dinner. And we can't judge, we like what we like, and we receive love the way we receive love. We just hope that the way we receive love and the way we give love are not to our detriment. So you do need I don't know how you switch up a love language. Maybe it's because you switch up your expectations, or you change priorities, or what's important to you. But if your love languages, the way you give and receive, aren't getting you what you want, then you're gonna have to go back to the table. So let's see, maybe Corvéa's, expectations may pan out for her. She get the guy she wants. So we'll see if it, works out for her. She's like, do I really have to prove I'm worthy of being spoiled, or can you not pick up on it? And it's like, people aren't just spoiling the first person they meet. Like, you don't have to technically prove anything. It's up to me. It's my job. Like, it's me doing the giving, So it's like, it's up to what I think, right or wrong, right? Like, you could believe that you deserve this and this treatment from someone, but if they don't want to give you that, if they don't think you're worthy of, if they only think you're worthy of Netflix and chill and all of that and texting all day, like you could be worthy of way more, but that's not your choice. You can't control how someone reacts to you, but you can say, you can recognize that you're not being treated or valued, the way you like, or the way you see fit, and you can make a move, so it's not a matter of like proving that you're worthy. But no people, like, are you treating every man you date the same? Like, every single man you date, you're coming full throttle with every single thing like that you could offer to the best possible candidate? No. So in a way, yeah, I need to make sure you're worth it. Yeah, I want to make sure you're worth all my home cooked meals. I need to make sure you're worth having this much access to me, this much of my time, this much, of my energy, my money, me putting an effort to court you and do things with you. And I need to make sure, I need to see what it's hidden for. I need to make sure that this is worth it. So I don't think either party was wrong in the way they felt. I think they just don't mesh. So it was never going to be communicated. I'm interested to see if Corvée has this conversation with like a Demario, who asked Z last episode about something about how does she like alpha men, or how does she feel about alpha men, something like that. I'm curious to see how like a Corvée and Demario navigate that, and if Demario understands Corvea's standards, and is if let's see if Demario's offended by her standards, because I think the guy that I think when she meets the guy that I don't think it's difficult for Corvea to meet a guy that will uphold her standards in that regard, in the gift giving, yada yada. Now, I don't know what quality man that is. I don't know. I'm just saying, literally, that standard of upholding a certain lifestyle, spoiling, all of that part, I don't believe will be hard for Corvea. But there might be Corvea single. Who knows? Maybe she can get the guy, because it's the spoiler, but can't get the guy to provide her everything else she needs. So we'll see. Z, like Demario said, is only concerned with the negatives of being on the chopping block. She is making it such a big deal and going around asking anybody who'll listen, who said what about her at the elimination. Okay, and it's like, instead of that, like, see, this is why you were in the bottom. Talk about something. That's all the conversation you have is to talk to me about why we didn't vote for you. How about get in the mix, let us get to know you, like, organically. They don't know you. They have no, like, they don't know you. There's nothing personal. They don't know you. And they're not about to tell you what they talked about in the men's lounge. That's literally the point of it. To both groups to have their privacy and ability to express. And it's always a big deal when stuff in the lounge comes out to light. So why are you going around, like, it was just so corny and childish. Back with the joking about being a virgin thing. Like, here we go. The childishness. Like, once again, I don't know. It's like, you worrying about the wrong thing, girl. You need to worry about making a connection and stop worrying about who sent you home. Sue-Ann and Blake hit it off, and he is smiling ear to ear, like I mentioned earlier. I think they're great ages for each other. They look great, both of them. So I'm excited to see their connection grow. They're both giving mature, and interested in each other with like a little kind of young, energetic spirit to them. So I'm excited to see. I initially liked Fabrice. I thought he was a great age. I thought he looked great. He has that Caribbean energy that the ladies eat right on up. He's talkative. He's engaged in conversation and his interactions. He has like that, the older vibe. He look like he got a little coin. He get that confident vibe flair to him, right? But he talks about sex entirely too much. He won't stop talking about it. You are too old to be conducting yourself like that. It's like creepy. You're too old for that. So no, unattractive. And then like the fact that, okay, whatever. Like we're not, all right, never mind. Doesn't matter. I'm so glad Jeffree was turned off by his sexual antics. Some of the women liked it though. And you know what? Have at it. You know what I mean? I think Sue-Ann was like interested in it, but I wonder like, no shade. Like I wonder if it's cause she's like 39. I wonder if it's cause she's like older, so she like, them older women, they be heated. They be like dogs in heat. I heard. I don't know if it has anything to do with the menopause. I don't know. I'm not saying she's menopausal. I don't know. I'm just saying, like I heard older women, they be ready. And she's single. So I think maybe that conversation with Fabrice did a little something to her, if you know what I mean. I don't know, because she was liking it. She was eating it right on up. But for not Fabrice, Jeffree, it was like, ew. That's how I was feeling. Like, ew, stop talking about this. This is inappropriate. But to each their own. Like, they're adults. So at the end of the day, hey, so Sue-Ann was vibing with it, and that's what matters. There's a group date for 6 of the men to get to know newbies Janique and Cynthia. Cynthia comes in looking good. Her confidence and demeanor, it's just giving sultry and grown, sexy vibes. I love her confidence. She's just chill. She's articulate. And she makes eye contact. She's like serious. She's involved. I love it. I love her vibe. Tony asks her what's her type. She says, all of you. And the men aren't buying it, but we already know men and women are attracted to different things in the opposite sex. Men are physical creatures first. Women aren't. We're more of like a swag vibe, like you could be facially challenged, but you could be like swagged out, alpha. You can have like this beautiful smile, have money, drive a nice car, give like this masculine energy off, and women will love it. We see things different. Like men, like it's easier to grow, in my opinion, grow on a woman. Like I think it's easier for like a woman to become grow attracted to somebody. I don't think like men don't give you a chance if they're not initially attracted to you. it ain't going nowhere. Like us, we'll be like, okay, I don't know, he all right, he ain't really that cute, or I'm not really feeling this or that, but we'll see. Then you get to know him, and you like, okay, he got this going on. I like his vibe. He's a gentleman. He got all this stuff going on. You know what? And you can gain attraction that way. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's how women we really are sometimes. Like, that's why all the women are like, I'm in medium ugly. It's like, plus like all the like super, 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 like most of the men that are just like too attractive for their own good be bums. And that's the truth. That's a lot of time why women like the medium guys, because we just done with the bums. Janique actually proves my point when she says she dated someone that others thought were ugly, but he had all these qualities that upped his attractiveness, And did Andre say that he believes she date an ugly man? I don't know if she said she does or I don't know if he said he believes she does or doesn't date ugly men, but I was like, did I hear that right? But she proved my point. Like, yeah, you might think he ugly, but look, I know, he do this. He's this type of guy. He's a gentleman. Comes from a great family, yada, 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 yada. And those things matter. So, I actually don't think really anybody's ugly or even unattractive for that matter, unless you are ugly or unattractive, like you. Because you could be as fine as can be, but still be extremely ugly. You could be ugly, or you could be what maybe society might say is like not that attractive, but have a heart of gold, be a genuinely great person, be kind and loyal and committed, willing to commit and have all these things going for you. And that ups your attractiveness. So, and I think honestly, that way it evens the playing field and makes it where those who have advantages, meaning like in the looks department, could easily be at a disadvantage if you don't do the self-development. And those at a disadvantage physically can rise to the advantage by, having these other qualities that are detrimental to being in a successful relationship and marriage, So Janique walks in. I'm feeling Janique. Her glam in this scene is a bit all over the place to me. I think it's the hair. She has a beautiful figure and face. I wish she would flatter. I hope she flatters herself more in the season. I hope she wears things that, like, she has a beautiful figure. I just think, my opinion, some of the things we've seen her wear two things. Has it been two? The first time she walked in the lounge when she got introduced, and then this scene with all the men. I think that's the second time. It's just sloppy to me. But she is gorgeous. I love her. I love Janique. Like, I love her style. I'm not saying her style, pardon me. Like, her style isn't like her personality, like her demeanor. I love that. Not her fashions. The alpha male / submissive combo takes place. Cynthia is saying all the right things for the men. So we'll see how her behavior matches up to that, because maybe we all how to navigate that with men in 2023. We know exactly what these men want to hear when it comes to that submissive alpha man conversation. So we're going to see Cynthia, because Cynthia ain't a punk. Cynthia is definitely a strong, assertive, confident woman. So I'm curious to see, like a Corvea, but Cynthia is still very feminine and sultry. So I actually believe her, but I still want to see it play out. We'll see. Marcia and Tony go on a date. For her to be a fashion designer, I'm not seeing the fashions give just yet. That's just me. But she's beautiful. She opens up about her childhood and a bit of her story, which I thought was really dope of her. I thought she articulated it very well. And I think Tony was very attentive in his listening. And I think it was a great moment for them to share. And that is how when someone asks, tell me about you, that is how you answer that question. Z. When someone, tell me about you. You, who are you? Why are you the way you are? What makes you you? Who are you? When she explained her childhood and then how it affects her to today. And I thought it was great. I think that was a great example for someone like a Z to learn from for next time. But Marcia's wig was distracting. It was lifting and it was like really distracting. So, but it happens, you know, it happens. That don't take away from the fact that that woman is beautiful. So Marcia, I'm not attacking you. I'm attacking your wig. You and your wig are separate entities. Okay? Y'all just happen to be adjoined in that scene. So I'm not attacking you. I'm attacking your wig. That's who I have the smoke for. I don't have the smoke for you. I like you. Tony prayed over the food. It was a good look to Marcia. they're feeling each other. I think they have a great connection. Is Tony going to end up being that guy who has great connections with a lot of women? We will see. Because I could see him being a high commodity on the show. I think he, once again, like other people on the show, has the gift of gab. And he's comforting and he's manly and masculine and all these things that these women are ready to love. Like, so we're going to see, but he's given, like, he's going to have a couple connections on the show. A lot of them. And it might become an issue. We'll see. We'll see. Initially, last episode, I didn't necessarily get that vibe from Tony. But after this episode, I'm like, yeah. Because he plays it back. Like, he's chill. But he's there. And he's noticed. So, we'll see. Z and Blake go on a date. Blake starts off seeming a bit interested. You know, he suggested her to move closer. He's asking her questions about herself. And he does make it a good point, like, of steering the conversation back to her talking about herself instead of all these other things, you know. Which, again, Demario said it last episode. Answer the question that I am asking you. Stop going in beelines talking about everything else. Be direct. Answer a direct question. It's a simple question. Tell me about yourself. I'm Taylor Bridges. I'm born from Houston, Texas. I'm currently 27. I'll be 28 in February. I have 3 little sisters. I'm an executive assistant. I describe myself as a bit assertive. I'm pretty funny, yada, yada. You know, while we're talking about it, I say my toxic trait is I could be a bit dismissive sometimes, or, you know, whatever. Like, get to it. You know? I'm a lover girl. I love hard. I'm this, that, and the third. What about you? Either tell me about yourself. Now your turn. Like, it's not all about me. I need to get to know you too. Like, girl, do you not know how to date, how to flirt, it's not difficult. But honestly, I always feel like conversations flow naturally with people you're interested in. So maybe maybe she wasn't interested in him. Maybe she wasn't attracted, or she wasn't just connecting with him initially because she was a lot more upbeat and vibrant with Demario, but maybe she was interested in Demario. But Demario didn't like anything. She wasn't picking up anything she was putting down. So it's like, Z, better pay attention. Who are you out there warning? And what do those men like? Because, baby, you had nothing to say to anybody last episode or this episode other than who put me in the bottom, who don't like me. That's all. You have nothing else to talk about. Who? And she's like early 30s. You know, us 20-year-old, 30-year-olds, baby, I could sit and talk about myself all day. You ask me about myself, you won't have to tell me, be like, just tell me when to stop, because I can go. I can tell you about me. Like, you know how to talk about yourself. Like, come on. So that was that. A group of ladies link up to spend more time with Fabrice and Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony prefers the special on the menu, which is the black woman. And I think he described his dating preference, you know, with him saying, I date a bit of everything, but he has a preference for black women. And even him saying, you know, just like having a menu, you have all these options, but I want the special. Like, we're like, as like black women are the commodity. I think he explained his preference and him being open to other races quite well. I think this is a good representation of a man who, you know, if he were to date outside of his race, I think he's explained what he likes quite respectfully. And I think black women, we could understand. We understand what he's saying, because I think a lot of us black women feel the same. Like, the preference is a black man, obviously. But look, if pickings get too slim and time is running out, look, I'm gonna have to evaluate who's coming at me and who, you know, and if that happens to be an Asian man or a white man, then so be it. But yes, I would want to have a black family. Yes, absolutely. So I think that was a points for Mark Anthony. I think he explained that very, very well. Especially being just like surrounded by 6 women, it could be dangerous waters to tread on. So I think he did really well. Let me see. Yeah. Fabrice is supposed to state what kind of women he likes, but he's back talking about sex again. I said Sue entertains us behind, but y'all know why I think she entertains him. He's too old for it. It's enough. Even Mark Anthony calls him out about it at the men's lounge at the end. Like, you gonna have to pull that back, bro. That's a lot. Do that on your own time. Like, it's just so uncomfortable. Like, ew, like, you're too old for that. You don't have anything else to talk about? Like, you're a fashion designer, like Marcia. Y'all don't want to connect over that? Where are your fashions? You don't have, like, I don't know. But a lot, like Mercedes said, she liked was it French she was speaking? They like the accent and all that. He knows that. He knows what women like him for. He knows his strengths. Like, he's no GQ model physically, of course. But he has a lot of things going well for him that work for his image. And it works for him. He knows his strengths. And he knows speaking this French while being a BS man is gonna get him far enough with these women. We're gonna see. Fabrice, sex can't keep or save any relationship. So I know it's important to you, but it'll never be enough. So it's best you start getting some other things to talk about and require from your partner other than good sex. It's going to take more. Okay? But you should know that because you're, if I'm not mistaken, the oldest on the show. I actually thought he was older than what they say. I think they said he was like 44. He actually looks older than what I thought he was like. Oh, I was like, oh, he looks good for like a 50-year-old or 48-year-old. I was like, oh, he looks good like for 48, but I think he's like 43, 44. All right. Mark and Mercedes connect over the flight and the pilot situation, and he's like feeling her afterward. I love it. I like Mercedes. We're at the men's lounge. The reconstructed church like the lounge, turned into a lounge. It's so lovely. I think it gives like I love the blue hue. It's a great masculine vibe. I love the candles. It's very like, it's like gothic, but a little modernized. I loved it. I thought it was really cool. That was just a nice lounge. Like, I would go there. Like, I want to go there with my man. He would love that kind of spot. They're liking Mercedes, like a lot of men. I think Mercedes is the front runner of the women. The majority of the men like Mercedes. They like her personality and her intelligence, and I'm loving that because Mercedes is, chilling in the cut. She's a sweetheart. I think she's absolutely beautiful. Another handful of the men like Morgan and Jeffrey. And I mentioned earlier, Andre even said Jeffrey was given wife. So it's interesting because these are the most liked women, but we've rarely seen, like, especially Morgan and Mercedes. Like, we've seen, Jeffrey, but Morgan and Mercedes is the most liked one. And we have not seen her on our screen. We haven't seen her go on any dates. We haven't even seen her. We've been seeing Z, who none of the men like, who the audience she don't even give you nothing to like because she doesn't talk. Like, so then by the time you get to the reunion, and people are mad because they made connections with 4 people that was never televised. And now they're irritated because they're like, you made it look like nobody likes me, or so-and-so and I didn't have a connection, or this and that. This is why. Show us these connections that matter. Now, my boyfriend did make a point. Like, they're not going to show, like, let's say Mercedes ended up making it to the last 3 couples, like, at the end of the show. He's like, they're not going to, showcase the story of, like, somebody who's gonna end up winning because like, it's too obvious. You have to kind of show a little bit of everybody, paint a full picture, give everybody their shine. I get it, but Z's not interested enough to be like, we have too much of Z and like none of Mercedes, and that's not even. So it's weird, especially since they like her the most. I was actually shocked how many men didn't connect with Corvea. I actually thought she'd be a favorite amongst the guys just because of her demeanor, the prototype she represents. We've seen it every year, every season. These are the women that the men like. The Sabrinas, the Alexis. Like, they like the young, the 30-year-old serious businesswoman, career woman who's a little on the, sassy side. She's gives a little serious, cutthroat, not playing. They usually fall for those, and those women are usually always short on Ready to Love. So they like, it's like a little petite, but it's like this big bite behind this like little cute feminine body person. So I'm actually surprised. The whole save one thing is not that helpful in my opinion, because I'm like, if the person you're not interested in is being put up for elimination, then why not just leave? Like, why use a save to keep them? They be staying for what? Just to get sent home again? Like, would they be staying and then forced to go make a connection with somebody else other than you? Because they're just going to get eliminated again. It doesn't make sense. If by the time you're voted out, it's because you're not making connections. So if there's like, I could see if it's maybe two people. If it's two people that are fighting over somebody, I could see why one would want to stay. But typically they don't let go of the person who has most of the people into them. Usually it's like only one person is interested in them, and and everybody else wants that person to go home. So it's like, I don't see what saving would do. If I'm on a chopping block and I'm only connected with Andre, if we're connected, why do I need to stay on the show? Like, it's here for love. I'm not connecting with anybody. I'll just go and come with me. Like, let's just quit and just date in real life. Or just stay on the show and we just date in real life. Like, we're adults. Who cares? So I don't know what the whole save thing. I think it's supposed to add like entertainment and dramatic effect and shocking moments, all that. So we'll see what it's given, but I don't really think it's that necessary. I think they're just trying to add something new, but I think it's like not as efficient as they think it is. So we'll see. Lyndon meets with Corvea. Z is with Blake again. I'm not really vibing with Lyndon. That's just me. He annoys me. I don't see why he's so offended. Like, Corvea not wanting to be with a man that doesn't have her own place is nothing personal to you, Lyndon. I'm pretty sure before she met you, she had already had that standard. You're taking it personally. He doesn't like that she didn't like that about him. It's like, too bad. She shouldn't. You're 30-something years old, and you are on a show about serious dating, and you live with your mom. It's okay for women not to like that. I think it's awful. I don't see why anybody else would want to still talk to him. So we'll see. But I think he's just too butthurt about it. Like, he's taking it personal. Like, anyways, Z and Blake are nails on a chalkboard. The right choice was made. I'm so glad she's leaving. It would have been a waste of time. A mess. But it was a pretty good episode. I liked the new singles because I was wondering, like, 14 people, they didn't know this show to be over in no time. Hell, that's 5 episodes. Eliminate 4 people from each of the genders, and then the last episode is the last 3 couples who pick each other. That's over and done with. So I'm glad they brought more singles in. Thought the singles were a good mix up because they are all eligible, attractive, and they are vibing and mixing really well in the group. I do think it's interesting that they brought them in second episode. I like that because we've seen when that season where, who was that with the you remember it was it DC? I think it was in DC when they had the girl that was like a Instagram model or whatever. They had her and she came in late and somebody else did too. But even though she ended up making connections with, oh boy, I can't remember his name, it was interesting because people had already formed connections. So I do think that it was nice to have the new crew this season, new people come in like right away. Like either this episode or next episode, they should have been brought in because it's a good mix up. It's enough of a shocker to actually mix things up because these people who initially met thinking it's just going to be us, who we see here is who we're going to ride out the process with. Let me get focused. Let me put my tunnel vision on the people that I'm interested in. But then now you have new people. So now you got to like recalibrate. And now the people that you're interested in, have even more options now. So I think that they did a good job about that. So it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I really liked it a lot. I'm excited for this season. It does seem like an energetic, entertaining cast. I don't know how many real love connections we're going to get, but I do like the cast. I think this cast is better than like that DC one with old girl in the alley and he had to come rescue her. The same girl with the Instagram model, like that season was a mess. It's a lot of seasons. Lately the season's been a mess. I think we might like this season. We'll see. We're not gonna hold our breath, and I will jump ship and turn on y'all ready to love. If y'all don't give, we're gonna see. But that'll be it. Thank y'all for tuning in to my review. Okay, I'll be back next week to review episode 3. Enjoy the rest of y'all's weekend. Bye.